majority of our buildings are wireless. You can go anywhere in the building with an iPad, a laptop, whatever it is, and you can access the internet. Except it doesn't get used after 4 o'clock. It could be used after 4 o'clock. Video conferencing and distance learning over here to the right. We have, the district's already taken care of it. You could have a business relationship, a business partner, somebody in the community needs to connect with somebody in California. I know they can do it at home through Skype, and it's a little tiny thing, but imagine an emerging company, new technology. They want to look a little bit bigger than they actually are, and they're meeting with a really important investor in California, Texas, or Arizona. Why don't you just use the video conferencing room or the distance learning room that we have? Oh, and in exchange, I'd like some of my teachers to be able to sit in the back row, and potentially some of my parents that are interested, and some students, so they can actually see how the real world business works. So I'm starting to bring teachers in. That's the professional development that they get by working with the business partners. As we all know, I'm just like you. I don't have any extra money. I don't have money to send my teachers out on professional development. So the professional development could be provided by bringing your community, your business partners in, and letting the teachers and the students learn about this new technology that's kind of scared them a little bit. We all know about gyms, but I had to put them on. I'm a little out of focus there. I must have been shaking or something. But anyways, that's our gym. Rock climbing walls. Again, gyms get used quite a bit. Family consumer science. When we went to school's home ec, fully operational classrooms where I am being contacted by the YMCA. They'd like to come in after school and in the evening to offer cooking classes for our senior citizens that address diabetes and health concerns. We have the facilities, the equipment's there. Why not let them in? Especially our senior citizens. I mean, I think unless you're from a school district, we rely on our community to give us a positive vote. By closing your doors, school districts, and not welcoming people in, you're already ticking the wrong people off. By letting them in and letting them see what's happening and having them participate with what they actually have paid for can get you that 1 or 2 extra yes votes that just might make the difference someday. Another stage picture there. So I could go on forever about other things you can do within your schools. I've got a short period of time here. I'm more than happy to talk to you later. The other part is opening your doors to innovation. Innovation and creativity. Actually, when I saw your title, no glasses, so innovation in a time of forced efficiencies. You're absolutely right. We're all being forced to be more and more efficient. And it's working. It just takes a little bit of time. So what we started to think about is innovation. How can we support startup new businesses within a school district, and we can benefit from it, and these new businesses can benefit from it. If you take a look at that picture, the picture on the left was my middle school basement. Anybody that has a school, go down and look in the basement. We put a lot of things out to bid. If it doesn't get put out to bid, then you're allowed to get rid of it. But we don't get rid of it. Actually, we could have a hoarding show, probably every single school district. Take them in the basement, show them what you got. So that was what our basement looked like. Junk, junk, junk. Today, pretty much, that's what our basement looks like over on the right-hand side. It's cleaned out, it has storage spaces, it has a sink, and you can't see way down the other end, and you will a little bit. So what I came up upon was we would see students go away for a day. I'm going to use college and nanoscale science and engineering as an example because everybody knows what that is. And you probably also heard about Nano November. Nano November events exposing little kids, young kids, high school kids, middle school kids to this new technology of really small things, which I still don't understand, but they're tiny little particles. And it's what our kids are going to have to get used to. And the kids would go away, whether it was after school with their parents, they had weekend events, and I would see the kids come back, and they're really excited about this new technology. And I would feel bad for my teachers. I have awesome teachers. You know, but some of them have not been outside the classroom in 10, 15, 20, 25 years. They're great teachers, but they don't understand this new technology. And they would just, ooh, slow down. I don't know what these little particles are. I don't know what that new organic thing is you're talking about. They were, I don't blame them. They were nervous. You know, I just keep going along with what they were doing. So I figured, how can I educate my teachers about these new business opportunities, these new technologies, so that we can keep that excitement of those young children. Those are the youngest learners. I'm talking all the way down to kindergarten. I've I've talked to people before. A lot of times we put a lot of our resources. We have a shortage of skilled workers. So let's go after our 11th and 12th graders and get them excited about going into one of these skills. It's a short-term fix. Or one of these new technologies. We need to educate the youngest kids to get them excited because they're going to be there real quickly. So you have a short-term and a long-term fix there. So what we decided to do is we bring in these business partners. You'll see right over here, Microorganics is one of them. They started RPI graduates. They were in downtown Troy. We ran into them at some business meeting, and they were coming in, they were volunteering time in our science classrooms and our technology classrooms. And that's how it started. I brought in science teachers, technology teachers, and math teachers. I introduced them as business partners, thinking it was STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's not all about that. We're moving more into a STEAM. We put the arts in there. So as we were working, I found out that this young gentleman, Brent Salino, got along really well with the teachers and the students, and he was spending more time in my school than he was actually working on this new technology, which is taking waste, sewage waste, and turning it into electricity. A partnership that we have from the school, the village of Castleton, opened up their sewer treatment plant to this company so that they can actually test their prototypes in a real sewage treatment plant instead of just little 55-gallon drums. So it expands past the school district into the community, and I'll get to another part of that. So it opened up doors for innovation. Our students here, again, remember, I thought it was only going to be about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. All of a sudden, it took off from there. These are two business students. And what they learned that is microorganics was to offset the costs. They had no money. So they couldn't really go in and rent space in downtown Troy. And I'm going to talk to the realtors or the property owners in a minute. They had no money. So they designed these little educational kits. And they were selling these educational kits, little prototypes of how you could put waste in it and it would create electrical charge, the way the organisms eat and so forth. That kind of took off, and they were bringing in some revenue, and they were using that revenue to offset the cost of their prototypes. When they partnered up with the school district, they were now able to use the school district as a partner in grants that they were applying for. So when they were applying for a NYSERDA grant before, they were just all by themselves. And they might get a grant, they might not. For the National Science Foundation. Now when these new startup businesses can say that they are actually partnering with a school district, someone takes a look at that grant a little bit closer. It's like, oh, this is something different. Nobody's doing this. Let's take a look at it. The shift happened where they started to get more money. More grant money was coming into microorganics. They couldn't afford to waste time on these kits. They talked to my business students. My business students came and said, we'll run that whole part of the business. Oh, and by the way, your website stinks. Nobody likes it because you don't know how to design it. And so they went through it. We had teachers that got involved and wrote the lesson plans for the kids. That part of the business is taking off. Now, what the purpose of having an all over the place? That's okay. I'll answer your questions. So, the landlords. I had a couple of landlords say, Bob, you're taking business away from us. I have a perfect space in downtown Troy that microorganics could move into. I said, yes, you're absolutely right. By the way, you're probably going to have to invest $50,000 to make that place look like what they need. And chances are, if they don't have somebody to help them get going, 6 months later, most likely, potentially, they could go out of business. You're left with a facility that you just invested $50,000 in. What our plan is we help get them going. It's like that college kid that went away and came back. I've got 2 right now. They can only stay with me for a little while. And then, as they begin to generate some revenue, then you push them out into those vacant buildings so that they're more successful. What we're trying to do is we've got these businesses working with us. We have 4 businesses right now, 2 non-for-profit, 2 for-profit. They get excited. They like the school district. They like the community. They like the partnership. And they leave the school district and they purchase one of those vacant pieces of property within my community. And that helps myself out as a school district. It helps the town out. It helps the village out. Because now you have that tax revenue coming back into the district. You've created job opportunities for your students, job opportunities for your residents. When Brent started, he was one-man show. He now has 12 employees. that are employed through his business within 1 year. The other companies are 2, 3, 4 individuals. So there is a process. Short term, bringing the business new startups in, is professional development for my teachers. My teachers go right over to the basement of the middle school. I don't have to transport them anywhere. They can go during the day during a free period, and they're learning about these new technologies and how they can bring the new technologies into their classroom. Students, student interns, they don't have to now get in their car and drive to an off-site. They can walk over to the middle school anytime during the day. They have a second block free. It's 80 minutes. They can walk over, do their internship, and go back. So what the businesses are providing to me is a professional development, and the internships, what I'm providing to them is space. And it all works out in an agreement between the school district and the company. They have to keep accurate records about the amount of time that they spend in the classrooms and accurate record about the amount of time that they spend within the school district. You have to be very careful about the type of businesses that come in. I've had probably about 15 to 20 businesses approach me. We don't let everybody and anybody in. All of the business partners are fingerprinted, they're badged, they're just like a regular employee. They have to adhere by our safety rules and regulations, and pretty much operate under our rules and regulations. They're not there for long term. So short term is what we're doing. Midterm is we'd like them to potentially leave the heights of the building and purchase property within the community. That helps everybody out. Long term, you sign a school district signs a contract with these startup companies that in case if they sell their whole business out within 10 years, the school district gets a percentage back for an educational foundation. Some of these businesses are selling for $40, $50, $60 million. Imagine a 1% donation to an educational foundation on a company that sold out for $50 million. I think it's a mushroom company over Green Island. Okay, that's a big company, millions and millions of dollars. So there's short-term, midterm, and long-term opportunities for school districts. I think it's about time that school districts really start to open their doors. I can only speak for Schodack. I don't want to wait until it's too late that I have to go to my town or my village and say, hey, please, can you help me out? Because I don't want my town or my village to say, well, wait a minute, we came to you 8 years ago, and you really didn't want anything to do with us. We're looking at shared if we can. I know Dennis isn't here, but I think about it. We have a fueling station, the town has a fueling station, and the village has a fueling station. If one of those fueling stations is getting old, why rebuild it? Why don't we share from each other? All it is a swipe of a card. We're putting in a propane fueling station because we now have 2 propane school buses. If the village and the town are going to be moving towards propane vehicles, don't put in a propane fueling station. Put your money somewhere else that all of us can share from. So we really need to start to work together, all get on a bus, go in the same direction. We all have the same vision. We all should have the same mission of where we want to go. And it's really not saying no anymore. And if somebody does say no, ask them why and get some feedback. And I think it's a great way for school districts, communities, and villages to really get together and show that we're being more and more efficient. So that's it in a nutshell. I could keep going, but I think I'm all done. Thank you. Oh, are there any questions? As it's hotter than anything up here. No questions. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I do have one question.
Okay.
You've talked a lot about cooperation with your municipality. Do you share relatively common boundaries, or are the two towns which contribute hugely towards you?
Well, I don't think the village of Schodack, or the village of Castleton, is right in my school district. All right? And one of the things I forgot to mention about that, it is a shared, when the village does their village-wide barbecue picnic, they use the elementary school because it's centered right in the middle of the village. Full use of the grounds, the facilities inside, and so forth. So the village is a little bit different, because the village is within my school district. The town of Schodack is split between two school districts. Part of the school district is in Schodack, and the other part is in East Greenbush. Two completely different school districts. East Greenbush School District is, 30, I think, don't quote me, I don't know anyone's from East Greenbush, or 3,500 kids. You sure you didn't lose that many? I lost a lot. Oh, mine went over to you. So they have 4,200 kids, I only have 900, so I'm 32 square miles, square miles, they're probably a lot more. So that does make it a little more difficult when you're sharing.
The answer I'm getting, I've got a closed school building
Yep.
in my town. And the biggest barrier, it seems, besides Laberge, which I'm facing on getting some useful use rate of it, is the fact that the school district is split between two towns, so there are two different groups of taxpayers.
I see.
And I haven't figured out how to counter that, and I was hoping you had.
Tell them to play nice.
Thank you.
Not the answer you wanted to hear, but that's what people have to start to do. It's, open your doors.
Thank you very much, Bob, Ben, for a wonderful presentation, and thank you to the, well, let's give them a round of applause. Excellent job, very passionate, very meaningful, and I like the word repurposing, not closing. But we are going to close down this session here now, and I'd like to thank the Conference of Mayors, the State of New York Association of Towns, State School Boards Association, and the Association of Counties for their sponsorship. If you haven't dropped off your index cards with questions, concerns, information, you can leave it at the front desk. There is handouts out there on U.S. Communities. We encourage you to take a look at the U.S. Communities Group Purchasing Program as a government efficiencies program. There's material out there, and take care to everybody. Have a safe ride home. Thank you.